Did you watch the Super Bowl at all?
Fuck no.
No?
No.
It was a terrible Super Bowl.
I wanted Seattle to win, but I'm glad they did, but I didn't. I'm glad I didn't watch it.
The game was... People say it was the worst Super Bowl ever. I can't speak to that since there's been 48 Super Bowls.
No.
The first 30 Super Bowls, most of them are blowouts. People don't realize.
Yeah.
It's only the past 10 years we've actually been spoiled by all these close games. The 3 ones that Patriots won were all pretty close. One possession about. The 2 Giant games were both amazing. Fucking amazing games.
I don't have the stats on hand, but I got
it. Pittsburgh games were good.
There are 2 Super Bowls that are actually worse than the...
that you've seen.
No. Just in terms of pure score blowouts, there have been 2 Super Bowls.
There have been bigger ones, yeah.
No, there have been 2 Super Bowls that have been worse than this one. This one is tied for 3rd place. With who? The Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys. So believe me, I know all about Super Bowls like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The one Buffalo one against the Giants was close. What was that, 1 point loss?
Hand grenades and horseshoes, my friend. Hand grenades and
horseshoes.
Was
it 2019? I think it was.
Yeah.
It's wide right! Giants win! Giants win! I remember my dad yelling and screaming in the other room. Lawrence Taylor. Greatest defensive player ever. Anyway, so the game was terrible. Peyton Manning played awfully. I know this isn't really a sports podcast, but I like Peyton Manning.
No, see, here's the thing. Like, I want Seattle to win, but I love Peyton Manning.
He's a great guy, great family.
The 5 years that I've spent, like, really into football, in, like, the early 2000s, I always rooted for the Eagles, but Manning was my quarterback. Like, that was my secondary team. And, yeah, I was bummed that it was... I wanted the Seattle to win, but I was bummed that it was such a blowout just because I like Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, he's a good guy. His stupid little mouth-breathing brother Eli is the opposite. Eli is terrible during the regular season, but he's amazing in the playoffs. He's the most clutch quarterback. And now, he's more successful than his brother.
Yeah.
He's 2-0 in 2 of the most amazing, especially the first one, the most amazing game ever, the biggest underdogs ever in a Super Bowl.
Well, I believe Peyton now holds the record for most postseason losses.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Well, he gets spanked by the Patriots.
Him and Marino. Yeah, I know. It's either him or Marino hold like the record for most postseason losses at this point.
That's sad. And he's 1-2. And the one Super Bowl he won was against Chicago and Rex Grossman in a terrible Super Bowl. That was actually not a good Super Bowl. That was rainy. And Rex Grossman is like, I can play better than him. And that was a terrible Super Bowl. And that's his. So now Eli is the more successful Manning, which is funny. No one in a million years. He's still a Hall of Famer, Peyton. His regular season stats are like insanely good, obviously. But this could be it for him. And Eli might have another Super Bowl in him. So that's the weird part about it.
Peyton's getting older. Eli's still got a handful of years.
He's got like 5 years left at least. He's only 32. Eli? He's only 32, Eli.
Oh, Eli's got that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Peyton doesn't.
Peyton's done.
Yeah.
Peyton, I don't know if he can recover for this. I mean, I know he had a amazing season, but from the first, I don't know if you watched the stats, but the first play of the game was a safety.
Yeah.
Peyton was trying to call an audible, which he always does because he's very smart about trying to pick out the defense. He starts stepping up. The guy hikes to him as if a shot goes over his shoulder. It was the most nut. After that, the game was over. It was really over at the beginning of the second half. They go to kick it off, and they're afraid of the Seattle guy running it back, who's not as dangerous as Hester on Chicago. If you know anything about sports, like Hester has the most runbacks of like anyone ever. Mm-hmm. So they do a pop-up kickoff to start the second half, afraid of him. The ball bounces like on the 10-yard line straight up, and you do a pop-up to give your players more time to get down to tackle.
Yes.
It backfired though. It popped up in the middle of the field, right in the guy. He broke like one tackle right through everyone, and it was gone. And then the game was really over in the second half. However, highlights. Bruno Kirby was excellent. Halftime show, he was outstanding. I'm like, wow, this guy's
who?
Is it Bruno Kirby?
Mars.
Bruno Mars. Who's Bruno Kirby? That's
I don't
an actor.
know.
Bruno Kirby's an actor that died 3 years ago.
It's
Bruno Mars, not Bruno Kirby. Sorry. Bruno Kirby was the actor in Godfather 2 who played the young. Anyway, Clemenza.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of the halftime show. I will comment on this though, and I don't even like the band. I fucking hate the band, but yeah,
they performed well. They performed live.
I'm talking about Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh,
everyone, all the boo, they didn't play. And it's like, of course not. It's a fucking halftime show. They have 3 minutes to set that shit up. You think they're gonna do a sound check and plug something in? You're an idiot.
Well, they have to rehearse it at least for the band that's actually playing.
And they play notes. They play the notes on the recording that goes out, and they always have the vocalist sing. Like how is this any different from any other halftime show? It's not.
That's true. Well, McCartney did do his own. Well, McCartney, I think, played at least piano. But that's different. Piano's the easiest one instrument to mix easily. But.
Yeah, but when you're running guitars and bass and drums through a mixing boarding, no, you don't have time for that. They have to. I read the stat. They have to set up in it's something like 3.5 minutes or something like that. You can't do that with a live band like that. You can't.
So Bruno Kirby, Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Frank would love that mix up. Bruno Kirby. Bruno Kirby was a famous actor. Anyway, Bruno Mars, he did well. He had some James Brown moves going on. He had the quaff going on. The commercials were mostly terrible. And usually they're not great, but there's like maybe one commercial I remember. It was like a 2-part Ford commercial with Rob Riggle starring in it saying, this is a Ford commercial and it's going to be pretty good, but it's going to be even better later. We're going to do something we never did before. So it's like cool stuff happening, whatever. It goes, it stops. Next commercial comes back. It's James Franco as Rob Riggle. Hi, I'm Rob Riggle. And so everything is bigger. There's a tiger there running around. It ends up with them in like F-16 shooting stuff. All I know is we have enough cars. Every other commercial was for cars. I know car sales are really down because the economy's still shit. Enough with the new car commercials. Is there anyone, besides the Anchorman sponsors, is there anyone that's going out and buying a car because of the commercial? Is there anyone that's ever done that? That's what I want to know. Is there anyone that's seen a cool CG commercial and say, I want to buy that SUV, I want to buy that sports utility vehicle, I want to buy that luxury sedan? I don't think so.
Yeah, but I wonder that all the time about all commercials.
I know it's more also about brand recognition and remembrance. That's a lot of what advertising is. But I don't remember the freaking... There's literally 20 different car commercials. I'm not going to remember them. I don't remember them. I don't. I remember the cool Doritos commercials they have each year. This year it was a creepy little... It was like a little baby riding on a dog or something. It was bizarre. I think people complained about that. People complained about Scarlett Johansson and the Soda Stream for Palestinian Israeli political reasons. I had no idea that was a big controversy, but apparently it was. That's the stuff you hear about, is stuff like that. Anyway, that's the Super Bowl for you. Terrible game.
Fuck that shit.
Giants rule. Moving on.